Welcome back to a brand new Severance video, and we're going to tell you the secret connection between all the file names on Mark's computer that no one has figured out yet. And we're going to make it absolutely clear. Clear being the key word. Okay, it's Scientology. Stick around. Welcome back to the Steelhead Station. I appreciate all of you tuning in. Make sure you give a like and a subscribe. And we've all been wondering what Mark has been doing and what those files were. And this week, we found out that most of it was related to testing they're doing on Gemma. But what people haven't really gotten into yet is what those file names really mean and how they're related. And I'm going to talk to you right now about that. So we learned that each file had a corresponding door, like that one. And right here you can see there's a whole lot of doors and a whole lot of files. So we saw like Allentown and Carnes, and we'll see Loveland and Drainsville. Some of those are on Mark's files, some of them aren't. But we're going to focus on Mark's files. And like Cold Harbor and other Allentown, people have already pointed out that they're related to the Civil War and Depression, but there's a more hidden relationship between a lot of these. Now, all of Mark's files are listed alphabetically, but he starts from the back of the file list with Waynesboro. In Waynesboro, you immediately think, well, Virginia. And yeah, that makes sense with Cold Harbor, the 1800s, Civil War, also the Revolutionary War. But did you know that Waynesboro also has two volcanic structures? That's right, Molehill and Trimble Hill. And pay attention to that because you're going to see a theme begin really quickly. Now, the next file up is Yakima, which you would think is Yakima, Washington. And in Yakima, Washington is a nice little city. In 1805, the Lewis and Clark expedition went through. Again, we're back to the 1800s and a wilderness and beautiful lands and Mount Rainier. But what happened in 1980? Oh, that's right. Mount St. Helens erupted another volcano and dropped ash on Yakima. Now the next one up is the wonderful town of Astoria, Oregon, home of the Goonies, and another Lewis Clark expedition. Do you know what I'm going to say next? Do you know what is under the ocean just off the coast of Astoria? Give yourself 5 points if you said a volcano. A volcano. That's right. The axial seamount volcano is 300 miles off the coast of Astoria. And it's the most active volcano in the Pacific Northwest. And it's expected to even erupt this year. Moving on again, we have Bellingham. Do you want to take a guess? That's right. Bellingham, Washington is home to Mount Baker, a active and youngest volcano in the Pacific Northwest. Not included in Mark's files, but shown on a door was Billings, Montana, or Billings. And Billings is the most populous town in Yellowstone County. And what's under Yellowstone? That's right, a super volcano that could kill us all. Up next is Cairns, which more than likely refers to Cairns, Australia, and it's famous for the Great Barrier Reef. But also in their national park there are, wait for it, did you get it? 3 volcanoes. Now on to Chicxulub, however you pronounce it. I can't pronounce the X's in the Mexican language, but it is a crater off of the Yucatan. And you can see it in that picture right there. And it was created by, no, not a volcano, a meteor. The meteor that killed the dinosaurs. And the crater is an impact zone, and it's hundreds of miles wide in almost a perfect circle. And I'll explain why it doesn't fit into the volcano portion, because it does fit. It's the second part of the theory. And the last file we see is Silo. And Silo literally is heaven in Spanish. In Argentina, there's a place called Campo de Silo, which is an area where hundreds of meteorites struck, some of them creating craters all over, up to 250 feet wide. All right, finally, we're at the point y'all want to know. What do volcanoes and meteors and asteroids and craters all have to do with Severance and these files? Well, it all comes back to one simple thing: Scientology. You can see Scientology's version of their own Bible, Dianetics, literally says the science of mental health. And what Lumen is doing is trying to get rid of depression by using Severance. But also because they're a culty organization. Like I showed you in my last video, go back and watch that Lumen in the show is actually based in Michigan and on culty Michigan companies like Steelcase, but more importantly, Amway. Just like, and the other half of Severance is based for Lumen is based on Scientology, and Scientology's belief that they can audit you, which is what everyone is doing. Mark, Helly, Irv, they're all auditing Gemma, and Scientology get rid of any disease by their system of auditing. But what's more important is that there's this belief that L. Ron Hubbard is like a god, just like Keir is like a god in Severance. So how do volcanoes, meteors, and craters involve Scientology? Well, it's simple. You have to go to Scientology's origin story, which they only tell you after you pay thousands of dollars being audited. And that is, Xenu was a galactic ruler who was evil, and he took his people and he put them in airplanes, yes, airplanes, and flew them across the galaxy and stacked all of these people up around volcanoes. And then he dropped hydrogen bombs on them, killing all of them, and then threw down thetan clusters, which collected all of their souls, and those clusters then attached to everyone else in the world that was still alive. And that is what causes you mental illness and depression and sickness. And to get rid of that, and Xenu is now trapped in the volcano because humans came and fought him. And Scientologists did. And they figured out that they could fix everything by auditing you and getting rid of the thetans that are attached to basically old souls, evil souls attached to your soul, and get rid of them. So like Lumen is doing, they're messing with people in a cult, and it's very, very, very much clear if you really look at it what the whole story is. And I hope you enjoyed this video. I know it was super long and it took me forever to record this voiceover, and I apologize for any mistakes, but please like and subscribe. I got more coming. Tell me what you think. Leave some comments. Steelhead Station out.